Thank you, GCP and ET team, to giving this opportunity. I would like to speak on, digital public infrastructure and what impact, happening around to the BFSI industry specific. So I'll be taking you through a story where we started with our digital identity journey, and today completely optimizing and democratizing credit and more opportunity coming to the BFSI as a sector. So I'll just quickly start. So in 2009, we started our journey with digital identity, right? So it was, first of its kind, and first of its kind in terms of execution, right? So today, 1 billion plus, people are onboarded and having Aadhaar, right? And why this mattered the most, right? So it enabled all of us, and this industry, BFSI sector, can definitely vouch for it. I have recently joined Protean, but have been BFSI veteran for last 10 years. This has definitely democratized the whole financial services, the KYC and stuff others. It enabled us to reduce the onboarding cost for the customers. It has also reduced frauds in terms of identity and taken the last, pushing the e-governance or, e-governance services of the government to the last mile to the villages. So, just a background on, how this has impacted the whole of India as a country. Moving forward, so again, I spoke about Aadhaar. The next was Jan Dhan. As part of Jan Dhan, we brought the unbanked to the banking system. And I was amazed to see there were like 462 million accounts open with a balance over of 1.7 trillion rupees into these accounts. And definitely, nobody can, undermine the mobile penetration and the mobile network that has brought significant changes and the whole digital wave to not only BFSI, but multiple sector across India. So 1 billion plus mobile connection, 800 million plus internet users, and the data cost is one of the lowest, as we have calculated, it's 33 times lower than the data cost in US. So all these are the building blocks to India where it is today. So what over the identity layer, right? So Aadhaar is built. I guess this is where we started, identity, who I am. Okay, so first layer talks about the foundational ID. In just 5 years, more than 1 billion Indians were onboarded. And the beauty of this was, there were different, so today it's a digital age, many people are with smartphone. But this program started where the mobile or the smartphone penetration was not there. So the whole beauty of execution and a case study to look at, we all at BFSI look, see, what smartphones can do, how we can come out with a feature phone journeys. But Aadhaar was launched where no phones were involved, minimal data entry to be done. These are all pain areas this industry, we try to solve on a day-to-day basis. The second layer is on payments, and I guess, we need not talk about UPI. It has been one of the successful and the most successful rail. It's interoperable, near zero cost, right? The third layer is around, the data I have, and DigiLocker has been phenomenal, right? So more than DigiLocker and account aggregator, and it follows the whole DAPA guidelines. So the whole data empowerment protection, architecture is being leveraged. On DigiLocker alone, there is 161 million users and having 5 billion plus documents ready to be shared in usage. Account aggregator, 1.13 accounts enabled, 1.13 billion accounts enabled, and almost 500 million plus loan disbursed already through the data fetched from account aggregator. So this is the next layer over identity. So who I am, what I do, and what I have. This has tremendously enabled not only BFSI, but multiple other sectors. Okay, sorry, I forgot to click the slide. So these are the three foundational DPI building blocks over Aadhaar. I just move to the next one. enabling inclusive, equitable, and expand market reach. So 17 plus transformational stacks are launched from 2010. And it started with Aadhaar and followed by, and there is a list of 20 plus, 17 plus of these stacks available. Started with identity, then the transaction, then the assets, and now the whole wave of open digital ecosystem. This is, when I say open, OCEN is one, ONDC is coming, and proud to tell you Protean is one of the founding members, and we have been engineering ONDC along with ONDC team. So, this OD gives us a more inclusive, equitable access to get the digital penetration to the last mile to the India citizens. So through these India Stack, we have created more equitable, more innovative, and more transparent atmosphere for every sector to contribute and innovate to. Moving forward. So this is the whole DPI landscape, and it unlocks the more inclusion at population scale, right? So OD enable interoperability between siloed systems so that the innovation can be built on top of it, leveraging open source software, open data, open standard, open license, and open APIs. And account aggregator is something we recently witnessed. It completely democratized. It was more secure rather than pulling all data into one databases. The data is still at the source system, and on consent artifact, this data can be given out and used by various entities. National ODs can both create a new economic value by unlocking new opportunities and lead saving by increasing efficiency in service delivery. So, whether it's DigiLocker, whether account aggregator, this has completely democratized the way the decision makings are done, how the onboarding are done. Maybe a credit monitoring use cases recently we saw on account aggregator data. So it's the opportunity is tremendous with open digital ecosystem. The potential, and by 2030, there are 10 more high ODs and node to these sectors are planned, and different sectors, financial services, agriculture, commerce, health, logistics, and education and skilling. Protean, we recently partnered with Xtep Foundation, and we'll be building the next Honest, which is an open network for education, skilling, and training. So that will further democratize education and skilling across at a population scale. So it has huge, benefit also. It has been estimated that it will give and enable health alone will enable 1 to 3 years increase in life expectancy by digital adoption and OD on health sector. I'll speak of agriculture, 1.5x increased in farmer incomes. And we are also contributing as Protean on the agri stack for government. So, democratizing the whole agri data. And not to mention the ONDC rails on commerce. So I'll just go deep into ONDC. So, as we all know, ONDC is completely open network for digital commerce. It's interoperable, unbundled, and decentralized. So the opportunities here are tremendous. Current share of digital commerce in India is mere 7%. And that's where this rail or this DPI offers tremendous opportunity. On B2B commerce also, India is just 1.5% compared to 28% of China in terms of digital penetration. E-commerce penetration in grocery alone is just 1 to 2% compared to 13% in UK and 19% in China. So ONDC actually enables, the both buyer and seller side, and this is in making. So, any seller or buyer can get themselves registered as network participant. So both consumer and producer are at the center. And then there are network layers to enable both sides of the ecosystem. And currently 10 plus domains and sectors are switched on to this network, including groceries, electronics, fashion, then mobility. Recently, Namayatri and others are live on ONDC. And going forward, we at Protean tested the first financial services journey on ONDC with a transaction and buying of gift card. So that was the first transaction we did, and we are completely opening it up for financial services. So with ONDC and the open finance gateway that we are trying to build, we need to first understand the foundational building blocks where we are saying, multiple DPIs. So there are new channels that will be enabled. So wider reach of app platform, discoverability, data-driven banking, sachet size loan can be enabled. Single integration for multiple lenders or BFSI institutes or regulated entities who can do the commerce. And how do I look at it is, see different DPI. So it can start with account aggregator, different lenders, insurance providers, credit bureau data can be fetched through account aggregator. Then on the ONDC rail, there is a lot of transaction happening. So there is a lot of visibility into the buyer side app. So take an example of, any e-commerce company, then any e-commerce aggregator in terms of Amazon or Flipkart. Then there are super apps like Paytm and Tata Neu coming. So all of these are generating data and on ONDC rails. So both at buyer side and seller side, these data are getting accumulated. So the consumer and the 90 million, greater than 90 million plus sellers are available in terms of supermarket retailers, kiranas, self-employed business guys who wants to sell. All this data is available to further democratize the invoice financing kind of use cases for BFSI. Value-added services in terms of advisory, taxation, GST filing for these network participants, and integrated payment gateway. So whether it BBPS, UPI, all these things are available, and there is a clear MSME credit gap, and I need not delve further. You guys are completely aware with the kind of data we are talking about. This can absolutely democratize the last mile decision making or the credit worthiness of the unbanked currently or uncredit worthy, or we cannot actually do the underwriting. So that data will be available on the rails, can be utilized. So as I said, multiple financial use cases being enabled on ONDC. I gave you a perspective. The first gift card transaction was done. But what's coming next is personal loan, purchase financing, GST seller financing, motor insurance, general insurance, investment, FASTag, and other transactional financial products. So what's the opportunity for banks and the complete ecosystem is acquire more retail customers, by buyer apps on ONDC to generate new leads, embedded finance, and insurance capabilities on both buyer and seller apps is one of the opportunity. Increase upsell, cross-sell to banks' digital customers, so personalized offers and products, because now there is more granular data available. Acquire more MSME customers. So till now, while OK and GST solved a lot of it, but still at a daily transaction level and the value of transaction being done, ONDC can further enable to generate more seller leads and more seller information for credit worthiness checks. Increase penetration in semi-urban and rural Bharat where credit insurance data or the credit history is not available. This will further democratize. So India has a significant lending gap as MSME, I mentioned in the last presentation or the last slide, while about 65 to 70% of the 100 million MSME have internet connectivity, but the data is not readily available for the credit check. Similarly, for mutual fund and investment products with discount brokerage, we saw 4x increase in number of demat accounts opened. So this can also be leveraged on ONDC rail. Insurance has the super opportunity where we are saying, anyways, the penetration is low, but there is a lot of opportunity for general insurance, both at the buyer and seller apps. You can actually sell general insurance over this rail, and there is the whole discoverability angle, the whole population scale angle. So if you onboard yourself on ONDC, actually you are available to all the buyer apps, ready integration at one click since this is open. So a huge democratization and open network available to be looked at. So this is the flow we are envisaging, the whole ONDC finance protocol, where we have the borrower or the end touch points in terms of website, or maybe in an assisted journey of business correspondent, looking at the buyer layer, buyer app layer. So, we have our own PWN SDK, ready for this. Data processing, again, through account aggregator, GST, and alternate data credit models. So there are multiple more DPIs and DPGs available for data. The artifacts are then broadcasted to the lender, and we are also having a very specific open network BRE available. And then through OCAN and ONDC network, the whole discoverability happens. So at the lender layer, then it's more compliant layer available in terms of KYC, pre-disbursement check, monitoring consent. So what it does is for the ecosystem, it democratizes the whole discoverability and onboarding of the customers. So you actually get to have the more qualified leads through the rails. Next is, I just wanted to give a brief of Protean. We are building for billions, that's our tagline. So e-governance partner to Government of India for over 28 years now. We have actually created population scale digital public infrastructure around tax, pension, national identity, digital authentication. So the first one to do, OPV APIs available to the ecosystem. Then we have 19 nationally critical projects enabled for digital transformation, again, for different ministries of India. So, we have worked with finance, information technology, communication, education, information broadcasting, and skill development. The next is whole new age digital, open digital ecosystem, and that's where we are deeply engaged in building ODEs and data stacks. So we started with e-commerce ONDC, mobility, health, agri, and education. The recent edition, Honest, is under making, and we'll soon launch the sandbox for the complete ecosystem. That's where I wanted to finish off. We started with a very mere, it's been 10-15-year journey with foundation of identity and Aadhaar. And today there is the complete interoperable ecosystem available, which completely democratized not only BFSI, but multiple more sectors to look at. And these are few stats. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to multiple more sessions here and how DPI and data, alternate data, can be generated through these open networks and open protocols to further democratize the whole innovation layer. Thank you so much.